Ladies and gentlemen, it's 7:30. It's Thursday night. Welcome to Keep On Reefer Thursday. What are you guys up to? As we're going live from the KOR Facebook group, I'm souped. Any of you guys that don't know, I am headed out to Seattle, Washington tomorrow, which I'm souped. I cannot wait to head out to Reefworks. It's going to be an absolute blast. I'm so thankful. I'm heading out today with those guys. And it's just awesome. We're heading up next week. After this, next week we're heading out to the FFM, which I really can't wait for. That for us is the biggest one-day show in the United States. We can't wait to see what John Swanson has up his sleeve for us. He's going to join us next Thursday, which I can't wait for. That's going to be an absolute blast. And then, I'm trying to think what else happens up after that. Oh, you got a couple other shows, but I can tell you right now, Keep On Reefing is happening May 4th. The new cards are in. All my guys, Donnie and everybody out there, if you guys want the new ones, I'm going to have these passing out at the FFM. All the stores, I'm going to have these for you guys as well. And anyone that doesn't know, I don't have them down here, FFM, ton of free t-shirts. We'll load you guys up. Anybody, if you buy anything off of us, the first 100 people that buy anything off us, you get a free t-shirt. So what is happening tonight? We're going live with Scott Kohler of Red Sea, who this is his first time ever doing a live video. Let's see if we can get Scott in here. And is the big talk of the town, Red Sea's new skimmer, which I'm pretty excited about. And these guys are the gold sponsor for Keep On Reefing. Hello, Scott. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how you doing, Scott?
Oh, I like this. This is awesome. We got two Scotts on tonight. Scott, do me a favor. Introduce yourself to anybody that doesn't know who you are and the company you're from.
Sure. My name is Scott Kohler with Red Sea now, just about 10 years, a little over 10 years as the Vice President of Sales. We're located in Houston, Texas. The company, of course, is based in Israel, but our U.S. distribution center and offices are here in Houston.
That's awesome. Now, how'd you get into this out of curiosity? Were you a reefer before? Like, how did you get to this point?
Well, how far back you want me to go?
I'm just curious about it. Like, were you a hobbyist at heart? Were you like a kid, start off with a fish tank? Did you grow it up from there?
If we go way back, but I'll make the story short. When I was 12 years old, 1977, I got a 10-gallon fish tank. Pestered the pet shop owner so much that he just put a broom in my hands, and at the end of the day, he'd give me a book or a smashed filter or something to go home and play with. And by the time I was 15, I had 35 fish tanks in my house, and
and then it just grew from there.
Went into basically repping for at that time Ocean Nutrition, and I've been with a number of companies and kind of worked my way from a regional rep up to where I am now.
Oh, that's awesome. That's definitely awesome. The big thing we're talking about right now which is the hot item, is the new protein skimmer. So what's going on with the new protein skimmer? So a lot of us, we're seeing the post online, we're seeing what's going on, and we're seeing them starting to come available. Like, what's the hype about it?
Well, one of the things that I think Red Sea has really done well is most of the people in the company are hobbyists, truly hobbyists at heart. Our engineers, our scientists, our biologists, everybody wants to see good innovative products come out. We really try not to just create another Me Too product. We're not into copying other companies, so we kind of wait until we come up with enough innovative things that we can produce a product that we really believe is going to bring something to the hobbyists. So a number of features that we incorporated into the skimmer make it not only much more efficient, but even user-friendly. Because of course, not only do we want it to work, but we want it to be easy and increase the overall success rates of the hobbyists.
No, that's sweet. Now, like, what's the difference between your skimmer and some of the other skimmers that are available? I'm just curious, So, like, what separates them?
Okay, if I can, I'll bring this one over, which I took the liberty to actually assemble. Starting at the top, we've got a couple of unique features. One is we all hate getting our hands into that stinky cup, but obviously keeping your skimmer cup and the neck especially clean is going to increase the overall efficiency and help to also reduce some of the smell that inevitably comes from a well-functioning skimmer. So this, if you see the handle here, You simply twist this, and as you can hear, especially with this being dry, we've got a couple of very, very tight-fitting wiper blades that are built right into the actual collection cup lid.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
So you don't have to stick your hand in.
yeah, these really, I mean, they get this thing squeaky clean, no pun intended. Like I said, it's a little bit easier when it's actually got some water in there. So this keeps it really, really nice and clean. Another nice feature is that this comes with an extremely long drain hose, which has a large valve right on the side of it. Neat thing about this is it actually kind of clips right on the side of most sumps, so it's right there in the front, and you just open it up, dump it into a bucket, you empty this out after you've done your little twist, and your skimmer is really just perfectly cleaned out. Of course, you do have to occasionally take the collection cup off. You're going to get some gunk built up in there, so it's a good idea just to occasionally give it a good clean. Another nice feature of the skimmer is our patented foam view window here. Even if your cup is almost completely full, you're still going to be able to see where the foam is actually rising up to in the neck. So you're always able to see just how well it's performing, make any adjustments to it so you can get yourself a nice dry foam or a little bit wetter foam if that's your preference. Okay.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. Let's see the neck. I'm curious how it's sounding going down. Yeah. Now, is that DC or AC?
This is AC.
Okay. Yeah.
So try to keep these nice and quiet, because this is a very aggressive skimmer. Even our smallest unit, the one I'm showing you here is our 600, so this is our medium-sized unit. But even our smallest unit, the 300, that's pumping 900 liters per hour of air. So these are very, very aggressive skimmers. They're truly workhorses. They start producing foam within an hour of you plugging these things in. And because it's drawing so much air, you can see we've got a very, very large, robust silencer. Okay, that just clips right on here, easily to take it off. You got a little plug down here so that if you do get a little bit of water in there, you don't have to take anything apart. You can just pull that plug out, let that drain, reinsert the plug. Again, trying to keep these things quiet and to minimize the vibration that you're going to have from the pumps. Anywhere that we've got the plastic connecting to the actual acrylic, you'll see we've got some very nice, thick rubber grommets in there. This is all to reduce the vibration that's happening. The pump itself is actually sitting slightly elevated on a rubber pad. The pump just snaps into place. And another neat feature is that the pump can be positioned 3 different ways at the bottom, so that you have your Venturi intake either on the side, in the front, or in the back, so that it can accommodate pretty much any sump setup. Okay.
Sweet.
I can
No, I'm just curious. I think that's kind of sweet. Like, how many sizes are you guys making for this? Like, how many sizes? Like, what tank size are you going up to?
Well, we've got the 3 different sizes. I don't know if you can see them clearly behind me, but what we're calling the 300, 600, and 900. And depending upon the actual type of tank you're keeping, whether you're keeping SPS or a fish only, will determine the actual gallons or liters that each skimmer is going to be able to handle.
Now, that's the other question. So we get in skimmers and we see some that are rated for this amount, for that amount. Like, when we get into like reefing, some of us guys, we stock heavy. We kind of go, what can the biggest one do? Like, realistically, we stock heavy. We have a lot of coral. What are we looking at?
All right. Let me bring this big, huge box over here to you. Okay. It'd be easier if I had a little sheet. But basically, Scott, the way that we determine, and went out of focus here a little bit, the way that we determine the actual capacity of any skimmer is really based upon the ORP that we're able to achieve in a specific type of aquarium. Okay, so knowing that we want to get a much lower ORP in a SPS frag system, or as opposed to a fish only system where it's not going to be so bad if we have a few more nitrates or phosphates. That's why we will actually look at the different types of aquariums. Okay, and again, I realize you can't see here, but on this particular, the largest one, we are stating that for a fish-only tank, that this is sufficient for an aquarium up to 2,700 liters. Okay. The Now, if you're using this for a SPS tank, we're going to recommend up to 900 liters. Okay. So basically, converting that back into English, roughly a 210, 215 gallon aquarium.
That's awesome. That's what I was getting at. That's perfect. That's awesome. And they look aggressive. They look like they're pretty aggressive. They look like they're holding their own. How's the feedback been on them so far?
So far, it's actually been very, very good. We've been very fortunate to get some great initial reviews from hobbyists, as well as a couple of the the other forums that are out there. We've set one up in our own tank here in the office, and quite frankly, we've got a couple of new products coming out, and admittedly, most of us in sales were like, okay, we got the skimmer, but then we have all of these other great, connected devices, LEDs. We're much more excited initially, but once we saw these skimmers actually in action, and again, most of my sales guys also have tanks of their own at home, so they had a chance to play with these things for a month in advance, set them up in some shows, and just putting these into the tank and replacing it with replacing a skimmer that we thought was good. And the next day, you've got 3 inches of really dark skimmate. You're like, wow, I just had no idea, that there was this much more to be taken out. So we got very excited by the skimmers ourselves. And again, we're hearing a lot of good feedback from our dealers.
Yeah. So you guys are getting into more and more products. So as Red Sea develops, what's next? What's the goal? We know you're working on lighting systems. What are we about to see now and over the next few years?
Well, what we're planning on launching this year, the LEDs will be coming out, and that's what we're calling our Reef LEDs. They actually are supposed to be Reef LEDs, but over in Europe, LED is very common. That's not an acronym that we typically say LED over here, so we're going to have to say Reef LED. Little cultural thing there. But the LEDs should be coming out probably sometime in April, that they'll actually be available to consumers. We're very excited about these. I can't go a lot into the technology and everything else because, again, they haven't been released yet. But they'll have a really, really good, intuitive app that you're going to be able to use for the LEDs. Following that will be our wave pumps. We'll have 2 different sizes of wave pumps. And again, they'll all be driven with this free, easy to use, intuitive app. Later on in the year, we'll also have a dosing unit, which was kind of shown at Interzoo in Germany back in 2018. A lot of people are very excited about that. And beyond that, honestly, I have not even been made aware of what may be in development, but I would imagine that we're going to continue to see more and more products rolled out that are going to be connected and app driven to give the.
Are they going to use? Can you hook up? Do you need separate apps for every single one? Or are we going to be able to go to one app to control them all?
The one app will actually control all of these different items, even multiples, which you can run either in parallel, where basically you've got the parent-child set up with cross lights or pumps, or you can actually run them independently. You can run the lights, for instance, in a sunrise to sunset, so in a staggered fashion. So it gives a tremendous amount of user ability to control and do things the way that they want. However, it's also going to give out warnings. So for instance, if somebody wants to run their lights for 15 hours a day, it will let you know that we recommend against that. It's going to let you do it if you want, but it's going to give you a little red flag saying, we think the optimum period is about 12 hours. And ultimately the app will not even permit something that we believe would be truly harmful to the corals.
Yeah, no, that's pretty sweet. Like, especially you guys upgrading and going to newer products. So do you feel like you guys get more onto like more products available? Like that's going to be like the new future for Red Sea is moving to app ready products. That's like as we move forward.
Absolutely. Now, one thing with Red Sea is again a very, very conservative company. They do not roar forward as much as we as a sales team would love that. You know, sales guys always love to have new products to sell. But they always take a very, very careful, slow approach. As I said, the LEDs, they've been using them. Even our global director's got these in his office for 2+ years. They really want to make sure that a product does what it is supposed to do, and ultimately takes care of the animal, being the corals, before they'll release anything. So, we're again very excited at the direction we're taking. How many or how quickly we'll see other developments beyond the dosing unit, which will be out later this year. We'll have to kind of just keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, no, and that's awesome. So also, you guys, you don't know, Red Sea's our gold sponsor for Keep On Reefing. And then our silver sponsors, we have Chris from Aqua Dreams, and we have Donnie from Web Pets that are huge supplies for you guys as well. And David's on here as well. David from School of Fish is obviously a big fan too, and he's on there too. So like these are all available. And when we were talking about that is, what you guys, so what you were telling me a little earlier before that you guys released this to the dealers first before it's available to online dealers for the retailers.
Correct.
So
one of the things we always want to do, we really value any of our customers. And again, there's always multiple channels, the onliners and the bigger bulk reef supplies and marine depots are of course wonderful customers of ours and supporters. But ultimately the hobby, the industry absolutely requires good retailers such as yourself that care about the hobbyists, that care about keeping them successful and helping out the new guys, which, listen, every single new hobbyist benefits even the most seasoned hobbyist, because the more interest and money that comes into the hobby, the more innovation there can be. So every single hobbyist is extremely important, not only from a from a manufacturer standpoint, but even from a hobbyist standpoint.
No, that's awesome. I appreciate that. And then we're coming up to May 4th, which is our show, Keep On Reefing Expo. And you guys are coming as a gold sponsor. So what are we looking at seeing? And people, are they going to be able to see some of the new products that are going to be available? We're going to be able to see the skimmer. Because, people want to touch and feel. They want to see it for themselves.
All right. Well, since you are being so kind and helping me through my first ever Facebook Live, I will guarantee you that, number one, I will personally come up along with our Northeast sales rep, Matthew Harris, lives in Pennsylvania. And we will have not only the skimmer, but we'll also set up a fully functioning system with the reef LED and the wave pump. Okay, so
awesome.
we'll all of our latest products will absolutely be on full display and working at your show, which we're very honored to be part of.
No, we appreciate it. Anything else you want to add? I appreciate you coming on tonight. Glad you got to show off the new skimmers. Talk about some of the new products. Anything else you want to add at all?
No, again, I really appreciate the time. I don't want to bore anybody, and you've been great. Again, we can always come back on maybe in April after we launch the LEDs at some point and give a little bit more detail there, and then we'll see you guys truly live in May.
All right, Scott, can you do me a favor? This is what you got to do. I know this is your first time, but at the end of every show, you got to say, all right, guys, keep on reefing. Can I get a keep on reefing from you?
You keep on reefing.
Thanks, Scott. We appreciate it.
All right. All the best to you.
That was Scott Kohler, Red Sea. It was cool to show off. We got to check out the new skimmers. Here's some of the newer products Red Sea's coming out with. They're a gold sponsor for Keep On Reefing Expo. You'll be able to check out the new skimmers and some of the new products available at the expo. Don't forget, we're hitting you guys up May 4th. I'll hit you guys up right above here. Buy tickets online. We still got VIPs are still available, and you can buy normal tickets as well. Doors open at 11. We'll see you guys then. I'm heading out to Seattle tomorrow. Stay tuned. We're going to post some videos all weekend long. I'll see you guys later. Keep on reefing, baby. Woo!